So the highlight of today so far is probably running a virus scan on my computer, which shows you what sort of day it's been. It's been a day of sending invoices, finishing my edits, I've uploaded a few vlogs, so I'm ahead of the game. But today's not been that exciting. I am actually on my way out of the house in a minute to go meet Tom, because we've got a wedding meeting, so hopefully we'll get a job next year. There's not a lot else going on, so what I thought I'd do is take this opportunity to take you over to the couch, and we're going to do that Q&A that I was talking about. Here's the couch. Oh, let's find some questions. Okay, right, we'll start this one with Tommy Sieves. Now, you met Tom the other day on the vlog, and Tom said you've got an unlimited budget. You're allowed to choose one location, one scenario, one lens, and one camera body. Go. Okay. Well, first of all, let's choose one scenario. You've seen that I shoot headshots. I love shooting headshots, and I'd love to shoot probably my favourite actor. My favourite actor at the moment, I love De Niro, I love Pacino, I love Brando, those sorts of guys, but my favourite actor is a contemporary actor called James McAvoy. I've always wanted to photograph him. He's a British actor, seems like a really nice guy, and what I would do, I'd shoot him in just a really kind of candid environment, like a coffee shop or something like that. If we were going for something like Time magazine or something like that, then I'd go with I can only speak for Canon really, because I don't know anything else. So let's say a Canon full frame camera, top of the range. It's got to be a 1D Mark IV, but I'm not shooting ospreys, you know, picking fish out of a pond, so I don't really need that. I'd probably just go for a good old 5D Mark IV with an 85mm 1.2 lens. That would be the key thing. And yeah, I'd photograph James McAvoy in Costa. I don't know. Yeah, maybe not Costa. I'll have a think about that. Okay, so next question goes to... Alright, Paul Game. Now, Paul has asked, I would ask, if you had the choice between a 9-to-5 job that paid twice as much as your current earnings per year as a freelance photographer, would you take it? And the answer to that is quite simply no. I am one of these people that's just not cut out for 9-to-5. I just can't do it. I'm not very good at... I just get too bored. I'm not very money driven. I'm not very financially driven. Hang on, I'm just going to move the angle to this because that's better. Money doesn't really drive me, so I'm not really too bothered about that. So the answer to that, Paul, is no. I absolutely love doing what I do. I don't earn a huge amount of money that I think people think, oh, because you're a photographer, you must be earning shed loads. Well, I don't. So the answer to that, yeah, is no. No, it's definitely no. Kira Jennings, thanks for your question. You said, what's the best photograph that you've ever taken? Well, it's a bit of a cop-out answer, but it's the best photograph I've ever taken is the one that I haven't taken, is the next photograph. I think if I took a picture last week or last year or 5 years ago that I thought was the best thing ever, then I don't know where that would leave me. That wouldn't leave me much room to grow, or, you know, nothing to get excited about. So I've got some favourite pics of mine, but not my all-time favourite. So sorry to be bland, Kira, but yeah, the answer to that one is quite simply the next picture. Jamie Cotton, thanks Jamie for your comment. How long did it take you to become an established freelance photographer, and did you have to take other work, non-photographic, in the meantime? Established straight away. I don't know if I am established or not. I don't know what makes you established. I really, you know, appreciate and thank you for that. If you think that I am established, I wouldn't say that I am, but you know, thanks very much for that. It's taken me, where am I now? 2017. I'd say it's taken me 4 years to get here, and 4 very hard years. And I've had work as in an agency, working in factories. I've done PR work. I've done all sorts, you know. I've done some office stuff, but mainly the property stuff has kept me afloat, because the property thing was the first thing I jumped into. I remember just cold calling businesses, and luckily someone in my local area had a gap in the market for a photographer. So they said, do you want to come on board and have a trial with us? I said yes, and it kind of went from there. Don't work for them anymore, but obviously I started thinking, well, I'm not contracted to just one person, I can work for different people. So then I started making a little bit more money from working for other people. So that's kind of how that happened. The headshot thing happened as well. I did have to do a lot of free work. Now I think most artists will probably agree with this. You have to do a lot of free work in your first 5 years of starting, because if you want a portfolio, if you want a strong portfolio, if you haven't got one, no one's really going to give you the time of day. So unfortunately you do have to just put the hard yards in and do a bit of free work now and again. Don't mug yourself off, don't do it all the time. Remember that you are a business at the end of the day, and you don't want to be pumping money into it, your expenses, your fuel, your gear, and you're getting nothing back. So just think about it like an investment. When you're doing free work, all you're investing really is your time and a little bit of, you know, fuel costs or whatever. But try and think about it like you're trying to strengthen your portfolio, and someday you'll be at a position where someone wants to take a punt on you for a professional job. And things like that happen with weddings all the time. If people are seeing that you're active on social media, posting things, then they're going to eventually, if they think you're worth your soul, they're going to want you to shoot their wedding. If wedding photography is a way to go, that sort of thing. So thanks for your question, Jamie. Alex Price. Alex, if you were just starting out, would you choose an expensive camera body with a cheap lens or a cheap camera body with an expensive lens? Thoughts? Well, for me, there's only one answer to that. It's all about your glass, it's all about your lens. So don't worry too much about getting if you've got a camera that you think, oh, I wish I had the 5D Mark IV or a D810 or a D5 if you're a Nikon user, or if you're a Sony. If you've got one of their entry-level cameras and you really want the A7S2 or whatever it's called, A7RS2, get some really, really good glass on the end of any camera. You should be able to produce some really good results. I think the best pictures I take of people are down the lower number ends of the aperture. So the wider the aperture goes, the better the shot, the more light, the faster the camera can work. So I would definitely recommend spending more money on a lens. If you've got a bit of money to play with, if you've got enough for one camera or two lenses, get two lenses. That would be my suggestion. And if you are just starting out, then yeah, get a camera that's fairly versatile, but you don't have to go in top end straight away. Rich Hinks. My question for you is, you've been to Wales a lot in previous videos. What is your favourite location and image that you've taken whilst you were there? I would probably say it would be that shot under the stars at Llyn Padarn in Snowdonia. There's a funny story behind that. I didn't intend to shoot that, really. I wanted to either shoot that at sunset or sunrise. I was sleeping in the car that weekend. I didn't even wild cam. Thinking back, I don't know what I was playing at, really. But I was sleeping in the car, and what I'd actually done, I'd actually gone for a couple of beers, because I'd been down for sunset, and then I'd gone for a couple of beers, so I was a little bit worse for wear. And then I wandered back down to the location because I had loads of time to kill. By this time it was pitch black. I looked up and there was not a cloud in the sky. It was such a beautiful, beautiful night. Really warm as well, so I could I probably spent about half an hour down there. So it's a nice feeling to think that the best picture I can think of in Wales, I was drunk. Doesn't matter. As long as you get the picture, doesn't matter how you do it. However, I wouldn't recommend drinking copious amounts of alcohol before a photography shoot. Okay, so quick bucket list. What 3 locations or objects would you like to photograph before you die? Tim Monaghan. So thanks, Tim. Wow, what a cool question. 3 locations. That's pretty epic. All products, all people, I suppose. Let's give it landscapes. Let's say the landscapes. I've always wanted to shoot Las Vegas. I've always wanted to see Vegas. Maybe not necessarily everything that comes with Vegas, but definitely to photograph it. Just because it's so vibrant, and I think I'd be able to get a great shot there. On the other hand, still in America, I think that I would one day love to go to Yosemite. I know it's selling out because this is one of the most popular places in the world, but I'd love to see El Capitan at sunrise. What's my third? I think I'd like to see a volcano, photograph a volcano. So Mount Etna, Vesuvius, And sometimes volcanic lava fields would suffice, I think. I've been to Iceland, but I didn't really get very lucky with any of the volcanoes. I didn't trek inland far enough. So yeah, I think that would be my 3 things. Good question. And that is subject to change, by the way. So Scott Hughes, a regular commenter on the channel. All right, Scott, what would be your dream location to shoot and why? My dream location would be probably a volcanic field, a lava field, I think. Just because I love those reddy, it's almost like Martian tones, I think. So I've got my eyes on a couple of places that I'd like to go in the next 12 months. Whether they'll happen or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'll probably say a volcanic field of lava, or, you know, somewhere with volcanic activity, because I'd really like to see for myself what they look like. So yeah, that would be a huge, huge place I'd love to go. Mike Malloy, how do you overcome photographer's block and find inspiration when there seems to be none around? And how do you motivate yourself to continue? Well, I have this problem all the time, Mike. My personality, I mean, I'll be the first to admit this, I'm fairly lazy. I need to give myself purpose. Purpose just doesn't come to me. I don't just think, I'll get out of bed today and I'll go to Wales, I'll go to the Brecon Beacons. That doesn't happen. So what I literally have to do, I go online. It's so easy these days to get inspired, I think. So I go on Flickr, 500px. I just do Google searches of mountains that I've heard of, that I've seen on the TV or heard about from friends or from vlogs. And I will just research, and I find that the more research I do on a place, the more I really find that I want to go out and shoot somewhere. So I've done that before with Snowdonia. I found that there was a tree in Linpadan, and I found it. I didn't ask anyone where it was, I just literally took a punt on where I thought it was, and I found it. And it turned out to be one of the best shots I've ever taken. So yeah, I find it difficult because it happens to me a lot, but I don't let it get me down because I know it won't last forever. So I literally just enjoy the days where I don't want to shoot. I literally just do what I want to do, watch TV, or, you know, do anything that's not photography, because I know that it will return eventually. Sometimes it takes longer than other times. Sometimes a few hours, sometimes days, weeks. But yeah, that's what I would do. I just literally go online and look at places, and I get inspiration from what other people have done, and I want to put my own spin on it when I go and photograph that place. And the other thing I do is, I'm lucky enough to live in a really nice place here in Malvern. And when I'm feeling lazy, sometimes I literally force myself out of the door, in the car, and up the hills. Sometimes I don't make it to the tops, and sometimes when I do, I get this overwhelming feeling that this is just awesome. Looking around at a view and being in amongst the elements and being higher than a lot of other people are, it's just a much cooler feeling. So yeah, I love the landscape. So sometimes it's better to just throw yourself out there and just get out there, and sometimes don't even take the camera, just walk around, and you think, well, next time I will have the camera. I've got some places that I've been to before that I love. John Spencer, do you do macro photography? If so, what is your kit? And if not, why not? No, I don't. Macro photography just doesn't interest me. I don't really look that closely at things. However, that being said, when I do look at images, I'm really appreciative of them. Things like bees, wasps, insects. Flowers don't really do it for me. I'm not really that bothered about flowers, but insects and really small animals, yeah, I really do find that quite interesting. But yeah, macro photography, the closest I get to macro photography is when I'm shooting rings at a wedding. I just get really close, and I stop that aperture down to like what my lowest is 1.8, 1.4, and then I just shoot. But yeah, I'm just not a big fan. It just doesn't float my boat. So another question from John. You've mentioned your dissertation, but not what degree you have. I have a degree in acting. I did a dissertation on the influence of 19th century, I don't even know what it was. The influence of 19th century Russian theatre on 21st century Western cinema. Anyway, I just basically got to read loads of cool books on actors. I graduated in 2007, 10 years ago. Oh, That's all for now. I hope you've enjoyed the video. A few of you actually, a few videos ago, commented and asked questions about my wedding photography. Me and Tom, who you will have met a few days ago on the vlog, we're going to be answering those questions together. So we're going to be doing a similar style video to this, and I'm going to release that in about 7 days. So look out for that one. That's all about wedding photography Q&A. So thanks for watching. I hope you know a little bit more about me now, and I'm glad you know a little bit more about me now. So yeah, right. Oh God, look at the time. Right, I better go because I've got to meet Tom, because speaking of the devil, we've actually got a wedding meeting now. So hopefully we can close some business. ABC, always be closing.